Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema, and today we're going to be reviewing Avengers Endgame. Starting with some of the positive, first we got the characters, the story, all of those held up. There wasn't as much character development, but there was some within some characters. There were some arcs that sort of really got fleshed out with some of the characters, and for some of the characters that we have not got to have as much good moments with, we did get that in the movie, such as with War Machine and some other characters that did not disappear during the snap from Infinity War. You get some more good moments with them. And with the story, there's some interesting new elements that are told with storytelling, not going to specifically tell what sort of those are because of spoilers, but there's some nice new ideas that are put on the table of this, but it's really good of how they portray all these good things, the characters, the story, what happens after half of the universe is snapped into existence, what happens when half of the world is gone. And a couple other good elements are the music score as well as the cinematography and filmography. I think they really got some good editing within the movie. It flowed smoothly and you could really tell what was going on as it progressed. And the music score really got me to where I really felt the mood of what was going on and what you were supposed to feel. So I think that was a really good point that they added within the movie. And of course, I can't forget the action. The action was really good. The choreography was really well played out with the fighting scenes and just so much different scenes that you did not expect. There were so much surprising moments that really hit me hard, like, wow, this actually happened. And I think that was really good how they managed to take this strong idea and implement it into a plot, which of course so many theories have been put into this movie as we're like, what are they gonna do in the final fight against Thanos? And there were so many twists that caught the attention from me as well as many other audience members. There was applause, there was crying, there's so many different reactions that really hit you on every level in the movie. On to more of the mixed aspects of what I felt during the movie. First of all, Thanos, I don't know if this is a popular opinion, but I felt he did not feel sort of the same as the character we developed in Avengers Infinity War. Like, I saw all the same attributes, but as Infinity War was a huge part of his story, we still got all of the Avengers within the mix, and it felt more equally divided between Thanos, the main villain, and the Avengers. In Avengers Endgame, it sort of felt he was pushed a little bit back. Don't get me wrong, there are huge moments with him. He was a huge part of the plot and all that, but within some of that plot, it felt like he was pushed a little bit back in the sense that we didn't get as much with him. But without getting into spoilers, it's sort of hard to explain, but he was a big part of the movie, but it just didn't feel like as big as in Infinity War. And another mixed feeling I have over this movie is how there are such big concepts and so much things within the story that, especially after the first time viewing, it kind of left me confused, made me have to really think about what really happened during this movie. How did these events play out, and does it all make sense? Is there any plot holes? And not that there's nothing necessarily wrong, but for a common moviegoer, which I'm not necessarily, I really wanted to just go in, enjoy it. Like, I really wanted to sort of just go watch and enjoy the movie. And yes, I do want some discussion and some things to think about, but I feel like there's so much that there were some topics that were a little bit big, which sort of had to work to make the story flow on, but just a little mixed feeling over how much you had to think about that, but it was nothing too horrible. And those sort of aspects that are not so good, the negative responses I had for the movie, they're actually not super negative. They're sort of in the mixed category, but they have a little bit more to be desired from, which are some. I felt they really did do a good job with splitting the different roles and making sure every character had its moments. But of the characters we all see in the trailer, some of those roles get pushed aside a little bit and they don't have as big of an impact on the end of what they do in the final battle. They do flow really well, giving in all their good parts and all of the humor and just how they impact leading to the final battle. But when it comes to the third act and it's more towards the end of the movie, the attention is drawn away from them just a little bit more than I wish it would have, which they sort of set them off to the side a little bit just so they have the main focus on the ones that really impact the battle, the main heroes, which it made for really good moments with those heroes, but just some of those side characters that they helped us flesh out their character a bit more that we didn't get to in the past, they still should have had more screen time with them more in the end battle, which I think would have made it a lot more cooler. And I feel they still had great moments, of course, because mostly through the first and second act they fleshed out those characters really well, but onto the third act they kind of set them to the side a little bit more than I would have wanted them to. And another negative response I had coming out of this movie is that there were actually some slow moments where it felt like it slowed down way too slow, in the sense that I almost felt bored watching some parts of this movie, which was kind of disappointing for such a big movie, and maybe being too hyped for it was a little bit of a fault in myself, but there were some parts that exceeded my expectations and really hit the hype that I was trying to feel, but there were still some parts where it felt like, are we really still going on with this part? There was a joke that they played off a few different times that I didn't like. I found it funny the first couple times, but then it was like, okay, you really don't need to keep covering this because we already said it the first time, and without going into spoilers, it just sort of repeated itself a little bit too much. As a whole, I think this was an excellent, brilliant movie that was really well crafted by the Russo brothers. It really had some strong moments. It had a little bit of slow moments that were not so good. So overall, I would rate it a 9.4 out of 10. Leave your thoughts down below what you thought of the movie, whether you watched it or you didn't. Make sure not to leave spoilers there because this is a non-spoiler review. Don't ruin it for the rest of the guys that haven't watched it, even though most people probably have. But remember, this non-spoiler review, non-spoiler comments, but feel free, open to leave your opinions. Don't judge or any others too much because I just want this to be a welcome community. Leave your own comments. Everyone has their own opinion, has the right to have their own opinion. So just feel free to say what you want. If you hated the movie, if you loved the movie, if you just thought it was okay. Leave notes down in the comments. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.